Hey guys, welcome to The Secret History Living Inside of Your Aquarium, my aquarium, whose ever aquarium. Let's see, let's turn this way. Alright, so as always, we gotta wait for some people to trickle in, wait for news to come down that we even exist. Tonight, I will be talking about a couple things. And first of all, I'm going to be talking about tannins and how now is the time of year to get your free tannins, to get tannins just off the ground in most of the United States. If not tannins, then in the United States, then you probably can pick up things like cholla and wood off the ground, manzanita, that's just ripe for the picking. So there's lots of good free stuff that is out there right now across the United States, ready to go. And I just thought I'd talk a little bit about that. Also, wanted to show you a couple projects I'm working on, answer any questions you guys have. The usual format of mass chaos, cats and dogs living together, mayhem in the streets. So feel free to ask a question about anything, and I will answer it as soon as I can segue into something about that. Hey Betsy, fake name, how's it going up in BC? Is it snowing up there? It's cold here. It could have been snowing. It was like 26 last night. Shrimpandplants.com. Hey buddy, so shrimpandplants.com is my buddy Jason. We are going to be working on some stuff together, and that will be a website and a name to watch. A shrimp and plants company for the people, by the people, and also a really sweet guy with a really nice family. So, but yeah, that'll be later on down the road. It's just we may have a hobbyist, not a businessman. Well, businessman, but a hobbyist first foremost, looking at starting to import for the Seattle area some stuff that we haven't been able to get a hold of at reasonable prices, and I'm all for that as long as we do it right and respectfully, which is what he fully intends to do. And also that will be, obviously I wouldn't tell you guys about it unless it was like gonna be savings, you know. I don't know what prices will be or anything, and this is still ways down the road. But you know, the idea would be you don't want to pay $7 for a cherry shrimp or six. It would be much more fun if you could pay like 3 or 4, right? So that's the kind of thinking to motivate everyone to be able to get into the hobby. Don't need to be overly greedy. And yeah, just a cool company working on some logo stuff in transparency of y'all. But yeah, so what is new? What's going on? I know more people always filter in till about the 10-minute mark, and then it just comes and goes. But I thought I'd do a quick reminder here, especially for those of you watching the playbacks. We have, and I'm talking to 3 people from Aquatic Arts on Monday, but we have a killer deal set up with them, which is if you use the code Secret Shrimp 15 Secret Shrimp, all caps. This is all in the description down below if you click on it. But Secret Shrimp 15, all caps. That'll get you up 15% off everything in their store that you can buy. And it enters you into a drawing to then win a $200 starter pack of blue Dream Caridina or Neo Caridina shrimp. Easy to take care of from starter to advanced. They're a great shrimp. They're my favorite shrimp. And then we also have gift certificates. Now, what's extra cool about this is we could have cut a deal with them where we, I make 4% or make a cut, as they call it, affiliate links, or they make money off of this. Right now off of people coming from the channel. What they're more concerned about is The first time, they don't care if people are getting it for the break even price, basically. Now they're still making some money, but they are talking about, hey, Soggy Pits, Relic Turtle, Taco Man Aquatics, Loaves and Fishes, Soggy Pits, great people coming in. So welcome and thank you. The comment about the hoodie, wish I could get some shrimps. Yeah, I'll be selling some shrimp of my own here too. As many of you know, I have Lucas Brett's line, and I have been refining it now. It's supposed to. Kathy B, what is up? And so, another little secret, interrupt my own self. Lucas and he owed me some money for some art and stuff. So I said, well, I'm a bartering kind of guy. It's okay. Why don't you pay me in shrimp? So I was able to, but I said, if I do this, can you hook me up? Like, I'm hooking you up as a friend. Can you hook me up as a friend? Can you do like high grade shrimp? Yes, exactly. Betsy, you are correct. Um, I don't know why. Just one of those things in life. Also, I got this. I think I'm becoming a unicorn. I have this like giant welt on my forehead, and one kind of here. I mean, my job. Okay, we're not going to get into all that. By the way, this hoodie. This is my lucky winter hoodie. I know it's falling apart. Yada yada. I need to stitch it up. It's really falling apart doing water changes where I hold the bucket so that it doesn't cut into my hand with the wire handle, and it's just shredded it. But I'm gonna do some fixing because I have had this tie-dye. People have seen me in that tie-dye for 16 years, and I still get people, if I dare wear it out in public, people I still get, Alex, woo, party. um Elderberry, yeah, I've got Sleepy Time tea with vanilla and was it vanilla and jasmine or something? They make a really good one that's like available pretty widely that I dig for congestion and everything. It'll probably clear up. But the other thing I was gonna tell you guys, so that secret shrimps code, that's really cool from aquaticarts.com. And then they've got another code, which is aquaticarts.com's code for 10% off, and that is Secret Shrimp, all caps, and the numbers 10 afterwards. So Secret Shrimp 10. And when you use that code, you can use that code as many times as you want. The 15% off one is like you visit once, you can use it, that's that. But the money from all your purchases, as long as you mention that you're coming from this channel, even if you use one of their other codes, mention that you found out about them through this channel, and that 8% affiliate link charge that a lot of, like, it's a dirty secret, or maybe it's not a secret to you guys if you understand how the YouTube thing works, but a lot of people get 4 to 8% cuts for referring business through links, affiliate links. So when you see on, I don't know, Aquarium Co-op or George Farmer, in their description, it says this aquarium, this easy green, this camera, those, like, it was filmed on this camera, those are links that when you click on them, they get 4 to 8% of the profit off of that product for every one that sells, that they advertise. So instead of that happening, I think it would be more fair to take that same amount and invest it back into prizes for everyone, because the amount that we're talking about here is maybe a couple $100, and I'd rather have that go back to you guys, and then in turn, you guys keep this channel running. You feel like, I care about you guys, because I do. I mean, I have been making real deep friends with people from this channel, and I can't thank you enough. I mean, people like Bob, Kaler, and Betsy, shrimpandplants.com, which is Jay Blair, Jason and I've been hanging out a lot lately, and chatting a lot. I mean, we really like it's a great community. And so I think that the amount that I would benefit from getting an associate or an affiliate link of 4% or whatever it would be split is, let's give it back to you guys, because I don't want to pay shipping and deal with all the like, I'm gonna go pick out of my stock some fish, and they may die if I don't pack them right or whatever. Why not leave it to the guys who know what they're doing? Tell them to keep it and forward it on. So hopefully, then next quarter, if you guys buy $1,000 worth of stuff, then we have $40 or $80 or whatever it works out to be, depending on the profit margin. I can't. Yeah, but then we have say $80 towards next quarter. So every quarter, I'm going to do this with aquatic arts and have some sort of giveaway every 3 months. This time they're doing the shrimp thing. They're doing a couple $100 of gift certificates, and if we have enough people using those two codes and mentioning the channel, we'll have even more stuff to give away. Also, that being said, if you're trying to be all strategic, then maybe you just use the code, and maybe if 10 or 15 of you have only used the code, I honestly don't know right now how many people have used the code, but then you have a really high chance of winning. Regardless, like, it's not over 50, 60 people that have used the code, I promise. And so you have a very high chance of winning if you think that there's going to be like 5 things given away. It's worth using. It might be even better than like a 20% off code or something else that they're pushing. All right, let's see here. Do you have a Dollar Tree there? Oh, nasal spray. Yeah. I do. I have nasal spray too. It just gets me, especially since it's like 30 degrees outside right now, or 20 something. And I came in from outside, and now I'm in a room that's 80 degrees and humid, and like the sniffles start. Relic Turtle, thank you so much. Bob seems to know when I'm eating dinner. Yeah, I think Bob might be magical, maybe. Otter Creek, what's up? Yeah, I know. I understand, Kathy. Afraid to make live animal orders in the winter. Yeah, I am too. I have Lucas Brett, so like I said, that's the other thing I wanted to tell you about. I don't have any discounts or anything, but I just like Lucas, and I can't speak highly enough of his breeding, especially the stuff that he really loves, the endlers and the shrimp and some of the rainbow fish. He does a really good job. So, yeah, but maybe let him know that you heard about him or were driven to him via me, because the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. Dun, 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 dun. Let me make sure I'm caught up on questions. Oh, last discount that I have running right now, other than if you join the Facebook group, moderators somewhere, uh, Betsy and maybe a few other people. I think Jay and Jay Aquatics. I can't remember if they were. Uh, Basically, we have a couple people, myself included. I have a secret later that you guys won't know until it happens. But there's even more giveaways and prizes and Christmas/holiday December giveaway stuff. So there's a lot of incentive to you know join the community. Like you're my peeps. I like you guys, especially everyone that's here right now. We got a good crew tonight. Brackish Bass, what's up? Ooh, some Cameroon moss. That sounds cool. All right. So, thanks, Bob, for the Patreon link. Also, Patreon, I have to say, YouTube, I love super chats. It is a thank you. I do super chats to other channels too. I actually pass on a fair amount of whatever I get in a super chat. It either goes to the fish room or it goes to another channel like Rob, or I try to go to channels that don't have much money at all. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example right now, and I'm failing. Um, like Serpa pet designs, his terrariums and stuff. I really like that. Oh, sweet, Soggy Pits. You bought 8 snowball shrimp from Lucas in April, and now you have a huge swarm of them. That is awesome. Yeah, his shrimp are good quality. Naked Reefer, what is up, man? Come on in. Unless you're a ma'am, but I think you're a man. I'm just guessing from the name. Flip Aquatics. Yes, Flip Aquatics. If you use the code HISTORY10, you'll get an additional 10% off of any of their um, yeah, Kathy, I love Serpa Designs. He's a great guy, and I basically like. I've been watching him and watching him grow, and his just like his ability to speak on camera and stuff. I'm sure everyone grows on YouTube, me too, and everything. But like, it's just been. I saw the talent there before and the beauty in his designs, but now he's got this confidence and kind of like formula down, and I just yeah, it's been cool to watch. So I like to throw him some money when I can from the pot here. Not that I have much money to give, but that's why I figure like none of this is going to change my life right now. Like I don't have 50,000, 100,000 subscribers, so might as well keep it in the realm of the hobby, right? And that's just good juju. So, all right, let me turn you around. You guys have seen enough of me, but we have a lot of pregnant females right now. We've got some really good kings in, and I posted on the YouTube or on the Facebook page. I posted some up close still shots of these because it just does not do them justice to see them on a live stream. So if you want to see those, check out the Facebook group, which is I posted some. But yeah, we got a big mama here ready to go. And it looks like one of the other ones already had her babies, but I don't see so many babies, so I wonder, I don't see any tiny little babies around. There are some, I don't know. I think the problem is when you get a colony this size, they start to eat the little teeny babies pretty ruthlessly. I should probably get them some more cover, like some hornwort and stuff like that, because I see no brand new babies in here, which is a bummer. Naked Reefer, thank you so much, buddy. $5 super chat. He says, I like to spread the love throughout the aquarium hobby as well. Well, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. I think it's a nice nod, and, thank you. As I was saying, the last thing I probably cut myself off to, because I can't stay on one subject, is that if you use the code HISTORY with a capital H and then the number 10, no spaces, just capital H history, and then 10, 1, 2, no spaces, link all in the description below, is you will get 10% off of anything on Rob's site, and that will then, it gets you the discount. Also, if you just want to use another discount that's better on his site, just mention you came from me, and there's a good chance he'll throw in a couple extra shrimp or something. He just tends to do that, especially if it's just a nod and a wink to somebody. He sends me shrimp from time to time to kind of check out. And I buy shrimp from him from time to time. Also, the Moscow Blue Guppies up here. Proud to say that we've got 2 mamas that are ready to bulge. Another one that's young, but we have some babies. If they'll come out, I don't know where they're at. Hopefully they didn't all get eaten. There were about 10 this morning. So hopefully if I take this net and move this around, hopefully there's still somewhere around 10 in here. There's a baby. So it's interesting. Lately, my guppies have been having very, very well-defined little fry. So like before, I've had some guppies and endlers where their fry are literally like an eyeball and some clear stuff that you can kind of make out as a tail. Well, these guys are literally coming out as little fish, like with fins and everything. Like you can see, they even have their dorsal fin and their pectoral fins and stuff. So there's that. But hopefully this tank will soon be a bunch of purebred blue Moscows. You guys have seen how beautiful these are. Bentley Paso has these. Uh, and this light right now makes them look a dingier blue, but they look bright blue sometimes. It just depends totally on the light. Yeah, there you go. They are a really nice fish, and a fish that is was thought to be gone, thought to be extinct, and came back. Whoa! Did you see how fast that guppy just moved? Or endler? These are all endlers. This is why I like the lyre tails. So endlers, one little trick here is you can find out if a fish is, probably 80% endler or so, because they can swim backwards, no problem. Not many fish can swim backwards well, and these little guys, can't tell here, his tail is lavender purple, which I am so stoked on. Purple is the hardest color to get in both shrimp and in guppies and endlers. Now this is interesting. This is an interaction that is called a mutual mating. So for some reason she has acknowledged him and is not like telling him to go away. And that's a lot different than when we see, I'm sure we'll see it in a second here, this guy pestering just the crap out of another one. And so in my other guppy videos, I talked about how female guppies, they have the ability to store sperm from up to 5 different males that they encounter in a breeding season. And they can store that for up to 2 years at least, 3 in one case in anyways, in a lab. But essentially their entire life, their entire sexually mature and active life, they can store sperm from different guppies. Now they can also flush it all out, but what they do is they mate with these guppies, and some of these males are just like, won't take no for an answer. In the animal world, it's gross, it's crude, and they just come up alongside them and they mate with them. Now this guy is getting compliance, as in she's not turning around and headbutting him and nipping him, she's just kind of taking him on a ride around the tank. This guy's a little more pushy. He tends to just kind of like swim upside down and like smack the female in the belly while he's upside down. But either way, if she actually, Crystal Shack Aquatics, welcome. Either way, if the guppy is mated with, the female guppy then has these chambers, and she has these little proteins, and she tags them. So say this male here mates with her, and then that male over there mates with her, and then this male mates with her. All 3 of them she will keep an eye on and remember. This is the crazy part. She remembers their pheromone and their smell and where she placed in her little storage pouch in her belly, next to her uterus. It's an extra little organ area that we don't have. Of course, I don't have. That human females do not have. And what they do is they actually, for every like bad thing that male does while she watches for about 30 days, 20 to 30 days, she will attach a pheromone that slows down the motility, which is the rate of swimming that the sperm have. And so if this guy, if was her real boyfriend, and then he looks dingy, he gets sick and he dies, if he's not dancing and doing his little shimmy shake as well as he was, she may go from having him in first place to second place. Now let's say her other first place gets eaten, and so he's nowhere to be found. Then she may say, you know what, I better go with that second place. So what she can do is load everybody up with these enzymes that make the sperm's tails swim slower, and thus when she opens up that little pocket in her belly and she says, okay, it's time, I'm going to fertilize the eggs and have some babies, only the sperm from the males that she liked have not had that enzyme attached to their tails. So basically they swim 5 times faster, get to the eggs, and fertilize the eggs far before anyone else. Then she can wipe the slate clean, or she can store some for a rainy day. In theory, she could do a split batch and have half one, half another, but you don't see that commonly. In any case, I just think that's interesting, and I'm sure a lot of you missed that from the long-winded video I had. All right, let me catch up on some of these comments, make sure I didn't miss something else. German blue rams are always hiding. Someone asked if I had an epistogramma cockatoides. I do not right now. I have had them. I do love them. I have been thinking about getting a Bolivian ram, one of the really colorful varieties out of the Czech Republic. I saw that sparring match the other. Oh, the sparring. Sorry, sparring match the other day was really cool. You don't see that often. Yeah, that was epic. I've never seen my. Thanks, Relic Turtle. That's a good call. That sparring match between My Little Pony, between the. Hey, that. I always think that my freaking corridors are dead and they just sleep in weird positions. Um, but yeah, that was crazy. The Pandagaras were fighting to the point where they actually, like, the next day they had red little patches and scales missing. Show the pea puffers, please. Okay, I can probably show them in a bit. I love the way you describe fish interactions. Thank you so much, Taco Man Aquatics. Aqua Cop, what's up? Brackish Bass or Bass? I'm gonna assume that's Bass. Let's see here. Okay, so basically these guys, surprise, surprise, more endlers trying to get the ladies. Now, what's interesting, this is the Lucas Brett strain, and these guys are pretty much nothing like the ones he originally sent out. These are now my own little creation of these big paddle tail spade tails. Lets them swim around well still, and then they got a black outline on that, and then they've got blue, and then they've got iridophores. Oh, thank you so much, Naked Reefer, for another $5. I really appreciate the super chats, guys. It always helps to, like, even though YouTube takes 30% or whatever, and taxes takes whatever, it is awesome because YouTube thinks that you're relevant. Apparently, money is the only thing that makes you relevant, right, guys? But it thinks you're relevant, and it will then share some of your longer form content, which is awesome because to me, long form content is where I can learn the most rather than just like top 5 fish that are fishy. And yeah. Just got a school of 18 green neons in your 20 long. That sounds awesome, dude. I love green neon tetras. They are, I think, hands down in a way, far superior to the other just neon blue tetras, just because they look neon blue if you're sitting straight, right, looking at them. But if you're not, they look like bluish, purple, turquoise. Like, they've just got all of these subtleties I just think are beautiful. So Kevin Rosenberg, yeah, that's awesome. Let's see here. So also we have a bunch of fish in here that don't behave themselves. So I put all the bad fish that beat up my other fish. Shout out LRB Aquatics there. And this tank's not clean, so I apologize, the outside. But we have all these fish that are begging right now for food. This is my sick fish tank. And there's some shrimp in here too. But they're shrimp that don't make the grade. But there's some interesting shrimp, like this black one with like a golden bronze-ish colored back, which is pretty cool. So I kind of just let them all do their thing. There's a leopard endler that just didn't make the cut. Now you might notice that I have maple leaves in here. And I have a video I'm working on. I have a video that I'm working on about tannins. and it's going to be so much more in depth than anything you've ever seen about tannins that I don't know if I should even make it. I'm like torn about how far to go on this nerd out uh, trip that I sense myself going into. So this is my grade A tank. They haven't all been cold yet. Like I haven't pulled out all of the ones that some are not up to snuff that are young. But for the most part, the older shrimp in this tank are all they're all good. But basically, the thing about tannins is that I'm gonna come up with a list of the trees and barks that have the best tannin in the U.S., like native to the U.S., and also what people have used them for. So everything from mummification in Germany and like bog bodies in Scotland, England, and throughout northern and central Europe, the bogs. It's the tannins that preserve the thing. Now, the other thing that just came out, like last week, I believe it came out for me, for the public here, may have come out in Polish. In is it Polski? I don't know how to say like in Polish, but uh, they came out with an article discussing how tannins actually have killed gram negative bacteria. So, like when you go to the store and you buy Furin 2, which is an antibiotic that is gram negative, and when you look at them and decide, what am I buying? Buy leaves first. So, or go outside. So, the maple tree, and specifically the American and the European chestnut tree. Look at this beautiful blue, if it would focus ever. It's like a periwinkle blue. Like it's like a sky blue mixed with a little bit of light blue. That's my new favorite color. This guy is like, he is what he should be. He is a nice blue color. Some of these guys are darker navy blue, but I've really been going on and tripping out about these blues that have kind of like a little bit of a purplish hue to them. They're almost like a matte finish instead of a gloss finish. I really like those. But basically, let me take you to the new tank over here. So, speaking of shrimpplants.com, Jason, hooked me up. He got my, the nice, beautiful that Betsy helped hook up from Showman, the low boy tank. Wife just wasn't gonna let me put it upstairs. We didn't really have a good spot for it upstairs, so it turned out that I got it hooked up, gave it to him, and he got me 2 5 gallons that I'm gonna use as little breeders. Now, I'm just gonna film up here for a moment while I talk, just because there's some cool stuff going on up here. Sorry I didn't clean the glass before this video for like the water stains that are on there. But I just took this female. Look how egg laden she is. These are Maytang rasboras, not mating. They're Maytang rasboras. Maytangensis is their scientific name. And, not rasboras, Danios. Sorry, guys. And I took them and I put them in here. And this is a tank with some moss and tannins and a like 4.8 or 5.0 pH. So it's low. Now, I'll have a short video coming out about how to make tannin tea. And so what I did was I got maple, mulberry, Japanese maple, and then I got chestnut tree leaves. So I take those, I put them in a pot like this, I boil them, flash boil them, take half of them, set them aside into a bucket or whatever, and then those I can put in, but they've been sterilized from fungi for the most part. And then beyond that, then I've got free range basically to use them however I want. They're sterilized. Well, then I've also got the ones that I boil, which are great for, they're already starting to break down and they have biofilms. So I use a turkey baster and I find the little teeny dots that move around in the water, the little teeny plankton and you know, copepods and things like that. And I use my turkey baster, and then I put those into here, fill it with half new water, half water from the tank up here. Soak the filters, so that's what's going on up here. This filter is the little air operated filter, and it is just soaking so that we can use it in this other tank. And that's pretty much ready to go. Now, one of the problems, though, is this isn't soaked all the way. This tank has only been put together a couple days, so it's still yellowing. You can see the yellow, but it's not like this yellow. Like, you can barely see through it, like Dr. Pepper or Coke yellow. And amber or brown. But basically, this tank, as it evaporates, the tannins are going to stay in the water. And so topping it off with just plain water doesn't necessarily help if you do a water change. So like when it evaporates, it's not a big deal. Your tannins are still in there. But if you do a water change, you're taking out those tannins that have leached from the leaves, and ever so slightly it's going down. So the idea is when I get new leaves, I boil half of them that I'm going to use, and I let that cook down, simmer. I only let it boil because I don't want to cook all the sugars and proteins exactly. And then some others I'll cold brew, and then I will put them in a bottle like this liter bottle. And then when I do the water change, I will pour like a cup or two of this in there if I'm trying to get fish to breed or mate. And that's just, I mean, it's free. Like everyone has some type of maple, mulberry, elderberry, alder. So I'll be coming out with a video talking about which trees and barks have the best stuff. Acacia and some of the ones in Africa, all the nut trees have really good versions of tannins. And then there's 3 types of tannins. So I wanted to show you guys too that I got these gold line shrimp in here. And they're chugging along, doing fine, despite even the big gourami and everything. They just have nice hiding spots. So right now I see 3 of them, and they just, to me, in my eye, they're like bing, bing. They just hop right out. And I have one that was just pregnant, and I'm hoping that she's hiding because she's given birth or is about to give birth. But let's hop around to this other side real quick. Sorry if I'm shaky. I can't help it. I'm moving. And we've got, let's see what we've got over here other than plecos. Plecos. They're always hanging out here. These are the long fin green dragons. And they're always hanging out here for some reason. And then back in here, yeah, there's some shrimp hiding back in here, but I don't think it'll focus. But what makes me happy is I'm finding young shrimp, very little teeny yellow shrimp. So they are breeding in here. I put a dozen in here, but a dozen is really not the best number to start a colony. If you're out buying shrimp, and I've got these golden, so they're blood red, golden shelled. So they were albino, then they're bred, the albino gene is crossbred halfway out, so you just get the red flesh, and then they get pigment back in their shells. So that is a morph in the ram's horn snail. I'm going to be selling these ram's horn snails on getgills.com, and people will be able to get their own ram's horn snails from me. But yeah, so let me look at some of the questions real quick. Also, my Cory cats have been giving birth quite a bit, and or laying eggs quite a bit, I should say. And the tank, it's all just kind of a matter of, see, there's some eggs there. It's all just a matter of trying to get, so like back here, hardly anything goes back there in the day. So everyone hangs out in this front half of the tank from here forward. And that back part is just chock full of almost too dense of moss, leaves, bulbitis, stuff like that. Here, this will all need to be trimmed probably in the next couple, like today, or like it should be trimmed today. Limnophilia aromatica, the new one, the hippoid, I can't even pronounce it. It is looking great. It's got that nice purple turned out all day long, which is cool. All right, let me look at some questions because I know I'm lagging, guys. Um, Pardon me. Ooh, red picta just arrived. You're getting a red picta cat. That's awesome, brackish bass. Please include using teas in your tannins video. Yeah, totally. So like Robois, Robio. Well, there's Robio, and then there's what is it? Robois. I can't say it ever either. And just like the word carrageenan, whatever. Are they gonna fight again? Are my Garas gonna fight? Dun 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 dun. I have 6 in here, so I don't know the rhyme or reason why they're fighting, but they are. I'm also trying to get these blue. I know they don't look like it here. They're beautiful. They're just so beautiful. They're like a bluish purple with this weird reflective orange hue and stripes, and I'll post some pictures because live stream doesn't do it justice. The tin winnies, the little polka dotted danios, they have bred, so these babies are new from this tank. They just appeared one day. I started counting them, and I was like, 1, 2, 3. Why are there 30 of these? And they just hid, I guess, until they felt comfortable coming out. So those, hopefully, I will be breeding as well. Ooh, you can see how dirty my tank is. I feel like a slob. All right. I'm setting up some new tanks, a 50-gallon saltwater breeder reef tank and a new NJ, so New Jersey native saltwater tank, and a couple of tanks for tetras last week. I had to set up it. Wow, man, you are busy, Relic Turtle. Uh, let's see. I want to set up an experiment using patchouli leaves or oil. Be careful with patchouli. I'm sure it has a ton of tannins. But just like cedar has a ton of tannins. So basically tannins are brown. So when you have wood that is dark colored, there's a really good chance you have tannins in it. If you cut it open like oak or alder, it's going to have less tannins because the pine cones, is where the tannin all actually like collects itself and in the bark. And yeah, so I gotta hold back and go over that in the video. I'm just debating like how structured to make the video. Is it going to be like a slideshow type video? Am I going to get lots of other stuff in there? Chubby Guppy, how's it going, buddy? My understanding, most gram-negative bacteria need clean, warm water to survive. It only makes sense that tannins would help prevent. Yeah, so gram-negative, it is a little more diverse in that sense. I mean, than just that. But for the most part, you're right. That is it does need like a stable environment, like warm, wet, and full of a host to munch on is kind of the MO. But that being said, I think it's amazing that this new Polish paper that came out recently says that gram-negative bacteria is 50% as effective as antibiotics, and that's not counting the preventative efficacy. So that's like if you put like catappa leaves is where they were sourcing it, and then they actually moved to chestnut trees, and then they tried pure tannic oil and gallic oil, and they found that you could treat them with a 50% success rate in that, which that's huge. I mean, that's way above like by chance or anything like that. So that's cool. Also, I was gonna mention here, I've got these RU2s. They're kind of shy sometimes for eating, and I just noticed that one of my females over there looks kind of skinny. Same with my erythromicron. They don't usually tread forward like this, but they're looking skinny. So I need to pick some foods like this guy here. He could have a parasite. It seems like you try to get all your fish totally clean of parasites, and someone always got to take a turd in the pool and bring a parasite. But I guess that's what I get for having so many plants and fish in this tank. I mean, there's I don't know 70 fish in here, because you have to remember, beyond the schools of these little fish, I've also got 12 Cory cats and 8 Balties and 2 super red plecos. So this tank holds a lot, and its nitrates are like 10, which is actually lower than they should be. By the way, this female, she has been swollen to the gills for weeks, since I got her, 2 weeks. And she just needs to make babies. I know it. And I put her in the tank with the tannins and the goodness, and nothing. Both these females are really maybe egg bound. Like, check out the males compared to the females. That female, looks like she is ready to pop. I'll probably toss them down there and see how it goes. Vexing cat, hello. What's the best way to grow moss in water? I have a lot of random moss growing around my house. Can I just, I'm guessing, glue it to a rock and drop it in after good rinsing? Well, you can, but it'll probably die. So the best way with moss is to get it acclimated to the temperature. So first cool it down or warm it up. Where I'm at, I'd have to warm up the moss. Now, you can just throw some in the water, and sometimes it just hangs out, looks great for 5 or 6 days is the short end, and sometimes up to like a month or two it'll look awesome. But then it usually starts to kind of turn to mush and not so great. And so you can then take it and hopefully try to get it to take on another surface. But what I usually would do is put it like half underwater, half above water, and then like once it gets used to being inundated, then I'll soak it all the way, and I take like 2 months doing it. But that being said, they're fairly different mosses generally. The ones that we have here, just temperature wise. Let's see here. My fit. And also, if you've got underwater moss, they'll all be great. And what I do with them is I just tuck them into any dark corner. They kind of look rough for a while, but then when I want, I'll just literally rubber band them or whatever, and just set them down somewhere, and they'll just get greener, and they'll start to terrace out, grow limbs that actually have some shape to them. Whereas when you tuck them away, they just look like a big wad back in there. But they're great for catching eggs, and that's why they're in this tank, really. How about plastic canvas mesh? I'm guessing for like flow, not a bad suggestion. Sorry, what did I miss here? Oh, what type of driftwood is in this tank? This is actually, so if you look at it where it hasn't been soaking, this is a, as they call it, red manzanita. I mean, it's just Oregon coastal manzanita, but it has this beautiful mahogany red to it originally, and it was like that underwater. And you can still see some of it, but it's not at all still as vibrant as it once was. It was like a beautiful auburn color. Um, yeah, it's how often do you water change and how much each time for this tank? This tank I try to change 5 to 10 gallons a week out of, um, and it's a 40 gallon. So I don't know, 25% tops, 10 to 20% usually. Alex, oh wow, Vexen Cat towards cell phone gimbal. Thank you so much. Oh man, if everybody threw in, I would buy a cell phone gimbal like now. Gosh, uh, um, boy, that is what I need. Lucas got one, and it does him a world of good. I really am jealous of that gimbal he bought. Pecan leaves, yep, they're good. Problem is, some of the nuts uh, have they're full of tannins, like extremely full, and for industrial purposes, they use them like there's no tomorrow. They use the trees. Same with like for like witch hazel and stuff like that. But the problem is they have a lot of terpenes or other enzymes that are harmful to fish, and you know how fish be crazy. Betsy, I'm not always here to upload the drone meat. Sorry, guys. It's a tree skeleton sticking out of a tank. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know what to do with this giant piece for so long, but I was like, you know what? It casts a shadow too when the other lights are on just right. And it looks like a bolt of lightning coming down into the tank, but that's all one ginormous piece. Um, yeah. What's a gimbal? A gimbal is it's like a thing that it's like a gyroscope. So if you tilt forward, the camera stays still. If you tilt back, the camera stays still, side to side. So basically, you can shake your hand around and the camera's gonna stay still. So when I do things like get up from leaning back to take this shot, instead of doing that, it would look more like this. So that's what all the good channels have, unlike me. Uh, Thanks, Bob, for the Patreon link. Bob's like, for the love of God, get him a gimbal. Uh, Bob already sends me so much money. I was gonna send him out something on Monday, but then the president, Bush, who passed away, they were threw off a bunch of mailing schedule stuff, and I needed to mail some live plants, and I was gonna mail Bob live plants, and it was the coldest it's been all winter here, and our postal service guys literally just, I mean, they just leave stuff in the cold, like in the warehouse. It's not heated because we don't get that cold that often, so it's bad. Man, this tank looks so yellow right now. It's bugging me. If only you guys could see what I see. Maybe if I step back, you'll see what I see. Um, the no, it's worse. The darker colors. I wish I could show you the the true. Like I'm seeing this beautiful red right here. Hang in there, Alex. If I didn't care, I wouldn't tease you. Yeah. Oh yeah, I could do a decoration on the like my wife thinks this tree's kind of creepy. Like it looks like it's leaning over and trying to get you. The other thing I was gonna talk to y'all about is, let's see, trying to turn slowly, is I've got a new colony, a new colony. Enough. Naked Reefer, another $5. Gimbal Fund, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Hashtag Gimbal Fund. Yeah, thanks, man. So this in here, get ready to hold your guys' breath. Hold your breath, guys. Yeah, I have been talking about doing air plants and then also Japanese pennywort. Uh, hold your breath, guys. So in here are white worms and apparently some flies. But white worms and little beetles. These are like top notch for fish. All it takes is you soak some bread, you get some soil, and you get white worms. You see these things? They're actually really big, so they're not for baby fry or anything, but for those danios, oh man, they go crazy for these things. Or my gouramis, all those guys. Love them. They love them. And you can see it here how many there are. I got this culture 30. Wait, I got this culture 30 days ago or so. And it was in a Ziploc bag this big, and boom, I've put it in this Tupperware. It's already the critters have grown to the point where they're already crawling on the roof of it. They're so out of space in there. I should be adding nutritional yeast, but it is literally just dirt, yogurt, and bread. And you just let it rot at 60 to 35, 40 degrees to 65 degrees. That's it. Are we buffering again, guys? Yes, oatmeal works well too. Cat food, dog food, fish food to feed them. Correct. Guppies seem to love them too. Now, the other culture here, I am a cultured man, obviously, is vinegar eels. These guys are the last of my culture, so I'm not going to use them. You can see them all in there. It's a dense culture of them. But they're itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini size, and I'm going to then split this bottle into like 3 more bottles. All you do, half water, half apple vinegar, apple cider vinegar, or some sort of fruit vinegar. And then you cut up apples, pears, peaches, whatever, something sugary with some cellulose content to it that'll hold up. And I think you can do it even with veggies. And then you just drop them in. You poke some holes in the top. Put some gauze in the top of the bottle so that air can come and go out of it. And you'll, within a matter of a month, even if you only had a teaspoon of these worms, within a month you'll have, I mean, probably, I would venture to guess that in a bottle this size there's a million. There's a lot. They're barely big enough to detect with the eye. All right. So, the last thing I was going to chat with you fine folks about tonight was this. So, let me go to a happy place, a special place where all your troubles, I'm going to take you somewhere we've never been together, guys. Ooh, so quiet. So quiet. All right. My husband has a weak stomach. Oh, white worms. Yeah, they're not as bad as Microworms. For me, microworms are gross, but I like them. All right, are you guys still getting the signal here? I hope so. But this is what I have to show you. Some of you guys have seen this, but tell me what you think, because Bob, thanks, man. Bob, you send too much money. I mean, I'm not going to stop you. You're a grown, thinking, sentient human, and so kind. So that's very nice. We've got 35 for the gimbal fund. I think the one that Lucas got was like 80 or 90. So probably if I get to the 60 mark, I'll, like the next live chat or whatever, like a total of 60, I'll just penny up the rest, ante up the rest. Okay, so here is my next little idea. So, Crystal Shack Aquatics. I'll have to check out your website and everything. Um, Amazon cheap one was 80. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the one that he used. I want to get one that's like good enough to do what it's supposed to, but like I don't need a super fancy one, obviously. Just a functional one. Um, so yeah, so here is the fish, one version of the fish, and this is if it were a wind-up fish. And I tried to actually sketch gears as if its head could tilt up and down and side to side, and then it has this drive shaft in the center to wiggle, and then these have little struts to move them, and this is, some sort of armature. Same with up here, there's three distinct pieces, and then the tail is also all hooked up and then hooked up to different drive shafts and levers. So, and the eye is just a gear for no good reason other than uh, you could put a cog in it to focus differently based on what you selected in there. But that doesn't matter, guys. What do you guys think of this? So the idea that I have is to do a series and maybe do shirts where like one's on the front and one's on the back. And I do like one that's Sumi, maybe even simpler than this, like maybe even more sparsely drawn, like more of a quick brush drawing, like a Japanese style, and then more of a micron pen style here. Oh yeah, thank you very much, Bob. I do have coloring books. One about psychedelic mushroom, or not just psychedelic mushrooms, but it's called The Fungus Among Us, and it has a third edible, a third deadly, and a third either harmful or psychedelic mushrooms in it that you can draw 36 of them. Naked Reefer, man, wow, thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate that. That is very kind. You are just the I don't know, the giving tree? That's not apt. You are the gift that keeps on giving, my friend. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Hopefully you can use some of those discount codes and make some of your money back for throwing it away on a loser like me. Okay, so then I did another little drawing of these Pseudomcgill Aru2s having a battle, and they're like clockwork, two different styles. Um, then here's back to the Sumi style, and then, where did it go? I don't know. So then the one I'm working on tonight is this guy. So a betta, just a normal, Splendens or something that we all would like. And this is the little mechanical one that I did tonight. And it's wind up. So it's like a little wind up steampunk clockwork, whatever you want to call it, betta. And then this one is going to be in the style of, this or my other artwork that I generally do for a living. I thought, oh yeah, like this stuff too. That's my wife's old dog. But Lucas is going to be featuring the artwork on his website as a t-shirt, probably, like if you want to buy a t-shirt of it. If you see that, it should have a little AW mark in the corner, and then you would know it's for me. It's probably all going to be for me, all his artwork for sale. I've also, when I color them in, you get kind of funky stuff like that. Uh, but, you know, I also do acrylic stuff, but it just didn't feel fitting for what I wanted to accomplish here. You know, I've gone through and showed people in the past this pile is not just junk here. Betsy, thank you for the gimbal fund money. Maybe I'll just shake everywhere and make everyone pay the gimbal fund right now. Sorry guys, I won't actually do that. But here's another one. I want to redo this one, but like this was the first concept of like a little wind-up shrimp. And here's like a little CPD who's breathing out little bubbles. But the idea is I do a clockwork one and then more of a scientific illustration, stylized a little bit, version of the fish. Just curious, comment what you guys think about that. If anybody would be interested in a poster or a shirt or anything like that, maybe we'd have like the steampunk version on the back and the other one on the front, and it could even just say I don't know. It could say nothing at all, I suppose. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Just be cute. Doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be self promotional. It can just be its own thing. I have a couple videos to share with you guys that are pretty incredible too coming out. Yeah, well, so Crystal Shack Aquatics, the idea would be to get it on a print-on-demand site that can fulfill in most of the world. And therefore, if there's a print-on-demand site in New Zealand, all I would have to do is get a hold of them, upload the high-resolution files, and then they can print and send it to you. So that would, yes, like Zazzle or Vistaprint's one here, Spring Tea's another one, Brackish Bass. That's totally what we were sitting at a bud bar. Not that I have anything against people who do or don't. I don't, just because I don't know. I did it too much in the past, and like since my accident, it's really solidified that I don't need the help in having a bad memory. But I do like the CBDs for the pain part. But yeah, I'm just not against it, not for it. Just that's cool. If you like it, you do it. It annoys me when people's entire life is revolving around it. But I do love psychedelic artwork and culture, surrealism, you know, Art Nouveau, all that good stuff. Somebody asked about moss earlier. This is moss that I just threw in, and this is what happens. I happen to know that this type of moss can grow immersed or submerged, and so it's just chilling. These are those cheap bulbs. See, some of them are molding, and I want to pull this one out just because I don't know what water mold that is. It's probably harmless, but the other ones are all clearly Madagascar lace or Aponogeton, which sweet, because I got 6 bulbs for $2 a pack, basically. So they're all some version of like Madagascar lace, crispus, or some of these are what do you call them? Crypts, bronze crypts and things like that. But they've sprouted a whole bunch of new little leaves, even though the rest of them have melted just awfully. Like everything melted and floated up. But now it's starting to come around full circle. Alright, well, if I could get y'all to click that like button I would like that. That would be awesome, and I'll buy you all a gimbal at Gimbals for Christmas. Does Gimbals still exist? I don't know. Alright, we're turning down the lights in the fish room. Turning them down, turning them down. Look how old school I am. I literally have saved the money from buying timers on everything, and I daily do this nonsense. Gonna gas my fish on accident someday. Alright, guys. Well, hopefully we can get a gimbal going soon here. I really appreciate you guys watching. Have a good night. Here is my wife. Hi, wife. She clearly is not in on it. And real quickly, here's this tank. It's looking good. The Malawi shrimp are doing well. Algae's kind of come back. I'm dialing in the ferts a little differently. And then I want to start trying to breed these Somfong rasboras soon. And then, I don't know, maybe erythromicrons. I could do them too, or CPDs. They'd all do really well. Plus a bunch of booses in here. Just getting older all over. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a good night. Thank you so much for the super chat money. Between that and the Patreon money, I think we should get a gimbal, guys. I think it is written in the cards. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe. What would mean a ton to me is if you take your favorite video of mine and share it with somebody who's not subscribed. That would really help grow the channel and hopefully help folks that are looking for a good community. Invite someone who you think would be good to the community. Because the more experienced people, the more new people, we need people of all kinds, especially for that Facebook group. And stay warm, happy, healthy, and I will talk to you guys later. And I have some videos coming out, so yeah. Alright, you guys. Have a wonderful night. Stay tuned for prizes, discounts. Use those codes. Check stuff out in the links below. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Peace. Bye-bye. And thank you, mods. You guys rock.